It's a Muppets podcast with your very special hosts, Alison and Ryan. It's time to talk the Muppets. It's time to make some brew. It's time to watch some Wilkins with the Talk the Muppets crew. Hello, welcome everybody to a special episode of It's Time to Talk the Muppets. If you couldn't tell from the new theme song lyrics that I wrote 2 seconds ago.
Those were great. I had not heard them, and I'm impressed.
Thank you. That's what I do. I would say that I improvise them, but I did write them down in case I mess them up. But what is writing but just recorded improv? I don't know. Anyway, welcome to the show. In case you didn't know, we're not talking an episode of The Muppet Show today. We're talking Wilkins coffee ads, which was requested by, who was it requested by, Alison?
We got a good couple requests. Let's say that.
A good couple requests.
It's been in the cultural zeitgeist lately.
Yeah.
Between the recent addition of the Muppet Show to Disney Plus, which we are obviously very excited about, and the general cultural relevance of the Muppets.
Yeah, I remember specifically, of course I follow Muppets history on Twitter, but they posted some Wilkins coffee ads and they went viral. And so naturally, we're going to talk about it. As you can see, my background on Zoom is a Wilkins coffee tin. I suggest if this is in your audio podcast feed to check the show notes for a link to the playlist if you would like to watch along. We'll also be putting this out on YouTube so you can see our wonderful faces and attach a face to a voice. Yeah. So, yeah. Before we get started, I guess coffee. What's your take on coffee? Are you a coffee drinker?
Sometimes. I'm not like a don't talk to me before I've had my coffee. Or like I need that coffee every morning. But like I'll get Starbucks every once in a while. Casual coffee drinker. How about you?
Me, I've never actually been a Starbucks person, but I do drink coffee pretty regularly. I think one of my earliest flirts with coffee was when I had a test in high school that I was cramming for, and so I made myself 4 cups of coffee so I could get through the entire textbook in a single night. And I don't remember what I got on the test, so really the results, if it was successful,
it was worth it.
Are irrelevant. But yeah, I bounced around. I like instant coffee. I've bought like whole beans and ground them up in a little electric grinder, not one of those hand cranky joints, because I'm not that type of person. And I never will be. The handlebar mustache and the fucking
no
herky jerky grinder. Yeah, none of that stuff. None of that nonsense. Wilkins coffee, though, long defunct brand. So I've never had the opportunity to drink it. Never been really brand loyal, though. I have been drinking Beaumont instant coffee recently, which I believe is available at Aldi's. And that
sponsor us, Beaumont.
Yeah, and that concludes the supermarket sweep segment of this bonus episode. So, without further ado, let's get into the Wilkins coffee ads. Shall we?
Let's go.
All right, so I have a little playlist right here. Let's talk some Wilkins. First up,
talk about coffee.
These are not arranged in any sort of chronological order. These are just random clips I grabbed from YouTube. let's take the first one.
Put your money in here and you get a cup of Wilkins coffee. I don't want any. Then push that button. How about a cup of Wilkins?
How about a cup of Wilkins?
Yeah. So I guess we should give some context. These are some characters that Jim Henson created when he was contracted to do some ads in the early 50s. Character 1 and Character 2, better known as Wilkins and Won'tkins. Wilkins is basically a shill for the Wilkins Coffee Company and will do physical harm to Wilkins when he doesn't want to drink Wilkins coffee.
And that's capitalism.
Yeah. Pretty simple gags here. Let's take a look at this one. Looks like we've got a camera set up and some really scary is that a monkey
what are
in the
those?
background? That looks like a monkey, doesn't it?
They kind of look like Teletubbies.
Yeah, let's see what this is all about.
With this camera, I shoot pictures of people who don't drink Wilkins coffee. I'm ready. Shoot. Anybody else?
So yeah, that's solid. Good pun. 5 comedy points.
His existence is a threat.
Everything the Wilkins
Everything Wilkins does.
Yeah.
You can strike at any time. Make sure you drink his coffee, or else
He'll shoot you with a camera, but not in the way that photographers do. The way that he'll shoot you the way Lee Harvey Oswald will.
You'll like this new car. Yeah? It's got a built-in maker for Wilkins Instant Coffee. Who needs it? Well, you can't sell them all.
it's a little rude.
Why?
Let him drink Folgers.
Why would a coffee maker be in the hood of a car though? That seems counterintuitive. Like I'm not a car person. I've popped the hood of my car maybe 3 times in my entire lifetime.
Maybe it's like a Tesla situation where there's like a trunk in the front instead of the engine and all that. So it's like where you can keep your coffee stuff.
So is there like an active coffee maker? Like, oh my God, I'm on my morning commute. No time to walk into the kitchen and make some coffee. I gotta
You gotta run straight out.
I gotta
It's
pop
already
the hood
in the
of my
car.
trunk. Pop the hood of my car and then brew some coffee in it. Probably look suspicious doing it. Then drink it and then head into, because you can't drive and brew coffee at the same time in this scenario.
No, that'd be too much work.
This is pretty counterintuitive. It looks like we've got Wilkins as a pilot and Wilkins in the passenger seat. Let's see what happens here.
Got your parachute? I forgot it. How about the Wilkins coffee? I forgot that too. You'll never forget this.
So in the world of this, I'm not sure about the physics of it, but I mean, I don't think he'd fall out instantly. I'm no physics
unless
major.
he didn't have a seatbelt on.
I mean, centrifugal
theoretically,
force, right? That's the thing that would hold Wilkins to the top of the plane. I wonder if that's like I wonder if that is a sly reference to The Great Dictator, because I remember a scene where they're flying like a biplane upside down. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows the historical context? Yeah, that's he won't forget this. Well, he will as soon as he hits the ground and dies.
But also there will be another commercial where he decides not to drink Wilkins and something bad happens again. So something tells me he won't.
Any last request, like for a cup of Wilkins coffee? No, you don't drink.
That's a leading question right there. Now Wilkins has sort of adapted. He's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna suggest it to you. I'm gonna extend you the offer, and you're gonna take it. Let's see what happens next.
Drink Wilkins? No. How shocking.
He's just inflicting harm. That's not the face of somebody who wants to sell you coffee.
Look at the dead eyes in here.
That's the face of somebody whose main thrust in life is to inflict harm.
Yeah, so Wilkins, as we can see, has been pro gunplay and pro death penalty by electric chair. Not a great
pro
guy.
Dropping people out of airplanes by flipping them over.
Not a great guy, I have to say.
Are we canceling Wilkins?
I think that's fair. That's a fair assumption to make.
I think we're pretty early in the show, but I think we need to cancel Wilkins.
Wilkins, voiced by Jim Henson, is Wontkins. I believe that's another. It sounds like another Henson voice.
It sounds like Henson.
So, is it just him with? I'm trying to picture the setup here. Like he just has both of his hands, and he's ducking down just out of camera frame. That's pretty impressive. With the, I'm assuming there's probably like support puppeteers for his arms.
Yeah.
But primarily, I mean, that's performance, like really selling the illusion, and selling Wilkins coffee effectively through the use of puppet violence.
Look at violence gets things done.
Look at those eyes.
Would you buy coffee from that man?
Is that a man? Is it a proto Kermit? Some people have described it as a proto Kermit.
Would you buy coffee from that thing? I wouldn't. I don't trust him.
Honestly, the more I look at Wilkins' face in this frame, the more I will, because his eyes kind of look like sunny side up eggs. And now I'm thinking of breakfast. And what goes better with sunny side up eggs than a nice cup of coffee. Wilkins coffee.
Want a cup of Wilkins coffee? What'll Mr. Wilkins do if I don't? Oh, he'll probably put his foot down.
I'm surprised that Wilkins didn't lick the boot of Mr. Wilkins. All right, so now we get the scale of these. We're building upon the lore of Wilkins and Wontkins.
Is there an entire smaller society of Wilkins and Wontkins?
Well, they've got the creatures, looking at the scale of it compared to a human man. Let's see, that's about from the foot to, let's call it
a head.
Let's call it like knee high. Like,
yeah, maybe a little less even.
Yeah, maybe like 3/4 of the foreleg.
About a foot, maybe a foot and a half.
A foot tall. Very interesting to consider. Interesting to consider.
How much coffee do they drink then? I mean, if they're that small, like they probably don't need much. Is Wilkins' problem that he's drinking human amounts of coffee?
Well, let's see. He's got that little teacup size, which is, I mean, I've got a coffee mug. Oh, it's, well,
there you go, coffee mug.
I've got a coffee mug. I would say it's pretty big, but I would assume that this little dainty coffee cup that he's holding is a little bit on the smaller side. So maybe it's to scale. Maybe he's getting the appropriate amount of caffeine for a felt puppet to be consuming. Just look at poor Wontkins, though. He's just being crushed by their god, Mr. Wilkins. Mr. Wilkins. So there is a man named Mr. Wilkins. We understand that canonically we've established that the coffee world, Mr. Wilkins, the owner of the coffee company, Mr. Wilkins, exists in tangent with these Muppet characters.
One of whom is also named Wilkins.
And one of them is named Wontkins. Now that's deterministic because, I mean, look at the size. He's basically a god to these Muppets. So if you're a Wontkins, are you the subaltern of the Wilkins hegemony? Much to consider. I do like these
Maybe they'll answer it in a future commercial.
I do like these little swirly things at the bottom. It's very cute.
He put his foot down.
All right, that's the end of this clip.
Visit Henson.com. Or don't.
All right, this is the next one. This is Jim Henson's coffee ads, but they keep getting more sadistic. I think
which is impressive.
Sadistic.
Because they started pretty sadistic.
This is, oh yeah, the video quality here is considerably less, but I think that this is that kind of adds to the thing. There's sort of like a found footage, like
Very low
otherworldly,
rent.
yeah, otherworldly quality to it. It feels like you're not supposed to be watching this.
Maybe we're not.
Wilkins, what's going on here?
The Blair Wilkins Project.
Wilkins coffee with your strawberry shortcake?
Can't say that I do.
You can't say that you don't either. You getting on the Wilkins coffee bandwagon?
Never. No!
You either go with Wilkins or you just don't go. This machine will make you want a cup of Wilkins.
Okay, the third one, it says they keep getting more sadistic. The third one, we're already introducing guillotines.
Yeah, where else can you go from here?
Pie in the face,
Run over by a
by
car,
and
guillotine.
like, and it's like a terrible usage of a guillotine. The guillotine, you're supposed to be cutting the heads off the rich, but Wilkins is using it for corporate purposes, for support of his corporate overlord, Mr. Wilkins.
Pretty deep. I'm think about it.
I'm just saying, Madame Defarge would not support this. It's a Tale of Two Cities reference for all the lit fans out there listening. But
sorry, I only know Garfield 2, A Tale of Two Kitties. That's a little reference for the Garfield fans out there.
Don't talk to me until I've had my coffee on Monday.
Hate Mondays. Love lasagna.
Wilkins coffee.
Not me. I'll take mine with cream and sugar.
Oh, okay. All right. So Wontkins has successfully dodged a fate belonging to Marie Antoinette. That's good for him. He's learning, but let's see if he continues to learn. I do love the look that Wilkins gives in this one. That is the face of terror.
It's very Veterinarian's Hospital, where the Muppets all turn to the screen and laugh about how good their joke was. Except this was about a guillotine.
My brain thought you were referencing the Adult Swim show at Children's Hospital, and made me think that Wilkins, that Sid Haig, kind of looks like a human version of Wilkins.
Yeah, kinda.
Wow, yeah.
Really makes you think.
Sid Haig playing sadistic characters, that's his bread and butter. Get him for the live action remake of Wilkins coffee commercials.
Disney, Wilkins
Why are
coffee
we climbing
commercial
this
reboot
tree?
when?
Wilkins coffee.
I don't want any.
It's autumn and the nuts are beginning to fall.
Okay, so the guillotine, not actually beheading Wilkins coffee. I guess that's less sadistic. Kicking him out of a tree, that's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad, but is it worse than running him over with a car?
As someone who's been hit by a car, I'm gonna say no. I think I've also fallen out of a tree.
I was gonna ask if you'd fallen out of a tree.
Wasn't kicked out of one, and I wasn't called a nut afterwards. So that kind of stings, Wilkins. Been loving the 1950s sort of like painted set design.
The production design is great on all of this.
Yeah, it
It's
feels
the
like
perfect amount of detail.
it feels like a children's play with the most with the least child friendly characters.
Yeah,
just bopping each other, just offing him, just Wilkins offing Wilkins.
Coffee break. Want a cup of Wilkins? Oh, thank you. Now all our workers drink Wilkins.
All right. So Wilkins is a worker. I think that this is another important piece of lore happening here.
Wilkins is a stand-in for the proletariat.
Wilkins is working class. Workkins, and Wilkins is the bourgeoisie. He's probably like what, the manager or the foreman on that construction site.
He's co-opting leftist aesthetics by using a guillotine, appearing as an everyman by advertising coffee, but he isn't.
You know what? I bet Mr. Wilkins bought the construction company that's building that building. And he's doing that classic corporate synergy, baby. He's going, hey, Wilkins, I'm Mr. Wilkins. Wilkins, I need you to make sure all of our workers drink Wilkins coffee. And those that don't, they're going to be part of the foundation for this new building. And Wilkins is like, yeah, sure, I could do that. I can murder those who don't stand in the way of our corporate overlords. Let's keep going here.
You want a can of Wilkins coffee?
No, give me a bottle of ginger ale.
Okay. But he would have liked the Wilkins. How about some Wilkins coffee, Captain?
No.
All right, this is interesting.
That's mutiny. SS Wilkins.
Wilkins. So the Wilkins Coffee Company has a construction outlet. They also have a boat, probably implying a fleet. Perhaps this is we don't know what type exactly, but perhaps this is a cruise liner that only serves Wilkins coffee. You can't book Jimmy Buffett on that one. He's going to start singing Margaritaville, and then Wilkins will come in and say, hey,
only coffee.
How about some Wilkins coffee?
No margaritas, only coffee.
Wilkinsville. You get Jimmy Buffett being held at gunpoint by Wilkins. This is a great reality we're building.
We're staying away again in Wilkins Coffeeville.
If you're on this cruise, every day you wake up, grab a Wilkins coffee, but every meal after that is just Wilkins coffee. It's only Wilkins.
Well, you might be able to use it in cooking.
That is, yeah. What is that? Red eye gravy?
Yeah. You could like coffee crusted steak if you want to be all fancy about it.
You could fry your chicken in coffee, assuming you get the smoke point correctly. Just a deep fryer filled with coffee.
Coffee soup.
Coffee salad. That's just a romaine lettuce with a iced coffee sprinkled all over it.
With the ice or without the ice?
With the ice.
Okay.
You've got a bowl full of ice cubes, lettuce.
So it's kind of a gazpacho.
And coffee. Yes, it's a gazpacho.
It's a gazpacho.
I noticed you had some gazpacho salad in your fridge. Yeah, it's Wilkins. Oh, perfect. Yes, I will have that. I will have that by the bowlful because I do not want Wilkins to come after me. Let's continue onwards on the SS Wilkins.
We all love Wilkins.
Help.
Give me
help. That's what a great button to that. I've noticed that this supercut has cut out all the insert shots of Wilkins coffee.
We know what it looks like.
We know what it looks like. That I don't know. I've always found old food ads to be just the most disgusting things in the world, especially ones from the 70s when they add color. Because like with this, it's like, oh yeah, black and white, that's a can.
It's also, it's just a can of coffee. It's not like we're showing a salad.
But then when you get to those colored ads that play before like opening features, and it's like, try the Mongolian grill next to the theater after your feature presentation. And it's like a strange like liminal space where the background's like a baby blue and there's just one bowl of like salad lined with kale in the bowl, and then you've got like some weird like jello mold cake with strange little bits and pieces floating inside.
Yeah, but you show up to the place next to the theater after your show and it's an empty room with a baby blue wall and a single bowl containing a weird jello mold.
I guess that's truth in advertising. Mid-century food imagery is it's the most disgusting to me.
It's bad. I don't know why anyone ever ate that stuff. Who thought like, what if we just put everything in jello?
Yeah, like
ham, jello.
Imagine
salad, jello. Wilkins coffee, jello.
Imagine coming home from a long day of work and you're like, "Hi, honey, what'd you make me?" And she's like, "Well, here's a Coke casserole and I got some beanie weenies and Jello." And you understand why the baby boomers are the way that they are, because they grew up on this stuff. Mom, there's a cigarette in my Jello. Shut up, honey. Just eat it. Wilkins coffee.
Be a close shave.
Do you drink Wilkins coffee?
Never.
My friend, this is going to be the closest shave you've ever had. How about a cup of Wilkins?
And it just cuts away. It cuts away. It
I
might
don't
have been.
want to see what he was about to do.
I think that might have been that. That actually kind of looked like an ISIS beheading video.
He was about to kill him.
This is Jim Henson's Sweeney Todd. I'm sure, like, as soon as, like, right after the cameras cut, there was just blood all over the set. Too dark for 50s television and too dark for YouTube community settings.
You couldn't show that on HBO now.
But you could get it on HBO Max.
Who's
HBO
Max?
Max.
Who's Max?
The inventor of HBO Max. HBO Max.
Max.
That's me. I'm HBO Max. Check out Euphoria special episodes streaming on HBO Max. That's me.
Please, sir. HBO Max was my father. Call me HBO Go.
HBO Go dead in a ditch outside of Glendale, California. A streaming service that doesn't exist anymore.
HBO Go found dead in the Americana at Brand parking lot.
Oh, I'm Allison. I know what Los Angeles is. I moved to California and I'm now one of those the Hollywood phonies.
Coffee.
No, just get me down on the ground.
Okay. Some people just never learn.
I'm gonna drink this coffee and it's not Wilkins.
Doesn't that coffee taste kind of flat?
So does he flip out from underneath the steamroller as a flat, like, paper Wilkins?
Yeah, it flattens him.
And people are like, CGI, computer, technical wizardry.
Yeah, they just turned that puppet into a flat puppet.
The dome at Lucasfilm. We don't need that. That's all we need. Just a simple paper cutout. They're like, that's
easy.
genius. That's genius.
It's
What
easy.
What are they, fencing in this one?
On guard. Salute Wilkins coffee.
But I don't drink Wilkins coffee.
Some learn, some don't.
So
He was gonna stab him.
I think he already did, because he was wiping the blade. So
Wow.
Wilkins.
Yeah,
bleeds.
let's run through a few more.
Yeah, let's skip over this one.
Persuade me to drink Wilkins instant coffee? Who?
How shocking.
You can't persuade me to drink Wilkins instant coffee?
Pretty please?
Ouch, okay.
Just a stab in the dark.
So now we've seen that Wilkins has a side business called Hidden Persuaders, where I guess he persuades people to do things. Well, I guess,
By
advertising,
stabbing them.
the art of persuasion. But they don't teach you in ad school to stab people as a form of marketing.
Is that not what Mad Men was about?
No. They were mad because they were on Madison Avenue. They weren't mad because they stabbed people. Though I will say, there is one pretty bloody episode of Mad Men that involves a lawnmower. No spoilers, but maybe Wilkins was driving that lawnmower. I haven't seen
I
don't know. What is this? All right, Snicklu the Swami.
Snicklu.
It looks like we've got Wilkins as a fortune teller.
I see you don't drink Wilkins instant coffee.
What about my future?
I hate to tell you, but you don't have a future. Have some Wilkins coffee, sir?
If that's all you serve, I'll get off at the next town.
Next town is 5 miles straight down.
So Wilkins owns an airline also.
Of course, they've got air, they've got sea, they've got the land through the construction company.
They've got everything.
And
it looks like we're voting for Wilkins in this one.
Yeah, let's see here.
You gonna run against the Wilkins Coffee Party?
Start the race.
On your mark, get set, go. Nobody beats Wilkins.
So now Wilkins is getting into politics. Now, is Mr. Wilkins himself getting into politics, or is Wilkins the nondescript anthropomorphic Muppet running for office?
You would think it would be Mr. Wilkins, because getting on video that you just shot somebody who didn't want to vote for you could be pretty bad. Not that bad. It could still be him.
Maybe the Wilkins Coffee Party is the new party that Donald Trump is going to try to start. He did say that he could shoot somebody in the middle of Times Square and still win the election. Is Wilkins Trump? Much to consider.
Could Wilkins pull it off?
Of course, I think what the true answer is in terms of this Wilkins political campaign is that Mr. Wilkins is sort of like the Bush and Wilkins is like the Cheney. It's a real vice situation.
He's the real one in charge.
Yeah, he's the one that will be. I mean, he looks like Christian Bale in this.
Yeah,
he's a pudgy guy. He's got the bald hair going for it, you know.
In a few years, Adam McKay is going to make a Wilkins Coffee movie, you know.
You know, people who don't drink Wilkins coffee just blow up sometimes.
Oh, that's a lot of...
See what I mean?
So now a lot of these have puns, but like just blow up sometimes. If you don't drink Wilkins coffee, you just blow up sometimes. Like, is he saying that like people who don't
get
drink
mad
Wilkins become famous? This one, you know, not as clever as the other ones, I have to say.
No, he was just looking for an excuse
to blow up Wilkins.
To blow up Wilkins, yeah. It's evil.
It looks like he's sitting on the Wilkins coffee ledge. There's like a running theme of part of the set being like a Wilkins coffee wall.
Yeah.
That's the wall.
Wait. Wow.
That's the Great
Wall. The wall
starring Matt Damon, or the beautiful wall along the southern border. It's all the pieces.
It's all connected.
It's all one big 4-dimensional chess game.
You have any Wilkins coffee in your house?
No.
You know, a house isn't a home without Wilkins coffee.
Okay, buddy, what do you think of Wilkins coffee?
I never tasted it.
Now, what do you think of Wilkins?
All right, now he's threatening the audience.
He's gotten past just threatening Wilkins. It's easy. That's a game for him.
This is, this is direct to consumer. This is Jim Henson invented direct to consumer marketing. You know, he's just dead-eyed, focused, got a cannon ready.
You better like Wilkins, or else
your head's gonna be like a Minuteman at Valley Forge, just blown off by a cannonball. Look at this. I really love the degraded video quality.
It works really well here.
It just adds a layer of terror and disconnect and otherworldliness that you just don't get from all these ads, from these modern day ads with their high key lighting and everything's so perfect. Oh no, the Febreze. Gotta get the Charmin Ultra Soft.
These are simple. It's a puppet, a cannon, and a threat at the audience's life. And that's it. That's all you need.
Oh my God. So, yeah, clearly I didn't look through the entirety of these videos before that. I hope that scared you as much as it scared me. All right, so that's obviously not the original.
Give me some party line coffee.
How about some Wilkins, comrade?
That's capitalist coffee, you traitor. Send 2 pounds to the back door.
All right.
Interesting.
Much to unpack here.
Lot to unpack there.
Let's hold on. Let me go back and see.
Want the party line?
This seems to confirm our suspicions.
Give me some party line coffee. How about some Wilkins, comrade? That's capitalist coffee, you traitor. Send 2 pounds to the back door.
So this is one where Wilkins does not harm Wontkins. And I think that putting this at the very end of this video as they get more sadistic is questionable. But look, we've got party line coffee with a very obvious hammer and sickle. They're clearly dressed like, I don't know, Russian citizens of the 50s. And what does he say again?
Give me some party line coffee. How about some Wilkins, comrade? That's capitalist coffee, you traitor. Send 2 pounds to the back door.
So in this world that we've seen now, very similar to our own real world, with the USSR, with capitalism, with communism as concepts, Wilkins Coffee openly deemed capitalist, much like every brand in America.
Except party line coffee.
Now, are these Wilkins and Wontkins Russians, or are they playing dress up as a mockery, as propaganda?
I think they're playing characters.
Okay, so let's take a list. Let's roll this back
To the back
again.
door. Capitalist coffee, you traitor. Send 2 pounds to the back door.
Send 2 pounds to the back door. Sounds like a threat, because it's like, I feel like that's like a coded, like a that's like a party, that's like a department coded slang for an assassination squad. Wontkins is gonna be carrying his Wilkins coffee to the back door, and meanwhile, Comrade Wilkins is gonna be there with the party. So he is still harming him, I think, in a sense, in this world that we've seen portrayed in this ad. I think.
Just in a different way. This one a little more overtly political.
Yeah. This one's a real thinker. Based Jim Henson? I don't know. If I saw this on TV in the 50s, in the middle of the Red Scare.
Which coffee are you gonna buy?
How was Jim Henson not blacklisted for this? I feel like you're the AD on the set of this shoot. You're like, all right, you're talking to the department heads. Art department wheels in a giant sign with a hammer and sickle on it. You're probably rethinking if you should be on set right now. Any day, any minute during the shooting, HUAC could just come busting in and start taking heads.
Maybe that's why they had to film the Muppet Show in Britain. Interesting.
Much to consider.
Lot to think about.
Okay, buddy, what do you think of Wilkins coffee? I never tasted it. Now, what do you think of Wilkins?
Oh no, we lost Ryan. I think Wilkins got him.
Hello?
Ryan, did you tell Wilkins that you didn't want to drink his coffee?
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay. Yeah, it was really weird. This tiny little Muppet just broke into my room and he pointed a cannon at me and was like, "I heard you were mocking some of my work here." And then that's when I realized that he's a foot tall Muppet, and I basically just kicked him. And it was a very beautiful punt. It was a Cameron Dicker moment of if we're really being honest.
Yeah, I guess the threats really only work if you're a foot tall.
Yes.
A cannon can't actually be that big.
Let's look at this. Do you see this copy right here? Rich, double rich.
Rich, double rich. There's 3 riches there, though.
That confirms it. It's capitalist coffee.
Okay, buddy, what do you think of Nash's coffee?
I never tasted it.
Now, what do you think of Nash's?
Now we're bringing Nash's into this?
Nash's coffee. That's, okay, so now we've seen that Wilkins / Nash. Wilkins will do anything. He's a real shark. He'll do anything for the money. He's not actually brand loyal to anything, though I guess Wilkins, the coffee company, has contracted Wilkins, the character, to do a lot of their dirty work. But maybe now the tides are changing. He's seeing the market fluctuate. Now he's diversifying his client base. He's going to Nash's coffee now. Which
Wilkins cares about one thing and only one thing. Attacking Wilkins. Doesn't matter who it's for. He'll argue Wilkins coffee, Nash's coffee, communism, capitalism, whatever, as long as it gets to Wilkins.
He's a shill. He has nothing really inside of him. He's no belief system. He's got no ideas.
No morals.
He doesn't stand for anything. He's just an empty shell. He's a puppet, if you will, of whatever his master commands. Wait, that's just a Muppet. I just described the Muppet.
Yeah, it's just a puppet.
Yeah, all right. Next commercial.
Ryan?
Yeah?
Have we been overthinking this?
I don't think so.
All right.
Okay, buddy, what do you think of Frank's orange nectar?
Never tasted it.
Now, what do you think of Frank's orange nectar? Okay, buddy, what do you think of Merita bread?
I never tasted it.
Now, what do you think of Merita bread?
He'll just sell whatever.
Okay, buddy, what do you think of Tasty bread?
I never tasted it.
Now, what do you think of Tasty bread? Okay, buddy, what do you
Keeps
think
going.
of milk?
I never tasted it.
Man just
Now,
loves
what do you think of
cannons.
Bramble milk?
That's my new hypothesis. He just likes cannons.
I think that, yeah, he's. I think that's Jim Henson being a little bit tired at the office. It's like, what can I do here? We did a cannon bit. Let's just do a cannon bit for whatever brand comes along, which I guess it works.
It's easy.
It
just
is.
swap out the props. You don't even need a new cannon.
This reminds me a lot of the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, except this would be like if the coyote actually caught the Roadrunner every single time. I've been watching a lot of Warner Brothers cartoons on HBO Max, and I have to say, One Froggy Evening, one of the best shorts ever made. That's the one with Michigan J. Frog, and he's like, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey." You know the one.
Yeah.
You know the one. But I think that you can sort of draw a direct line of comparison between Roadrunner and Wilkins. I mean, it's got the same dynamic of 2 characters. One wants to harm the other.
It's just that he's successful. Wilkins is always successful.
I will say that there's also like the added, I think I prefer these over the Roadrunner because there's the added knowledge of knowing that these are like tangible objects that they were made at some point and filmed. Like you could, like, I don't know, with the animation, you're like, that's a nice cartoon. It's got a lot of nice motion, but you're like, somebody had to make all this. You think about all the work that goes into making one of these Wilkins coffee commercials. And it's a little
Somebody had to make these puppets and then destroy these puppets any of the sets, any of the background work.
All of these moving parts came together to create a vision of
Chaos.
sadism. It is simply a vision of capitalism run rampant. It is you have Walt Wilkins, who is the embodiment of capitalism for Wilkins coffee, and you have Wilkins, who is the proletariat. Hello, I'm Slavoj Žižek, and I have come on the podcast to say that this is a damning portrayal of two ideals that are crossing the economic will of the people, and let us see what is continuing on with this Wilkins nonsense.
Care for a cup of Wilkins coffee?
No, I don't like coffee.
This has been a public service announcement.
Is Wilkins a podcaster? Also, I had to kick Slavoj Žižek out of my bedroom.
Yeah.
I told him to go, lose a couple pounds. He's a little pudgy. Anyway, are Wilkins and
Just shot a guy.
podcasters in this one?
I think this is radio.
Hey, what's
Sort of what they not much. What's a radio with you?
What's a radio land murders? That's a radio land murder. Wilkins is a victim of a radio land murder right there by Wilkins.
Everybody always talks about the things that the Simpsons predicted and the things that Saturday Night Live predicted. No one talks about all the things that the Wilkins and Wilkins commercials predicted.
Sponsored podcast ads.
A radio land murder. Capitalism.
Muppets.
This announcement.
Have some Wilkins coffee? Well, I say, I'll take some. Surprising how many people are switching to Wilkins coffee.
What is that? What is that wave of the bat? It's these little touches. It's these little touches that add so much character to these otherwise nondescript felt Muppets. You really get the sense that he's ready. He's ready to just beat Wilkins to death.
He's a terrible guy. I know we've gone over this.
Wilkins decaffeinated coffee is best at any price.
Oh, you just say that because
what?
Because it's true.
Rock-a-bye, baby, in your cradle so fluffy. I can sleep too, 'cause I drink Wilkins decaffeinated coffee.
Okay.
One's nice.
He didn't kill the baby.
He didn't kill the baby. He has some morals.
Yeah, that's some good copy. It's a nice sing-songy. It's a nice little song. Emphasizes the caffeine-free aspect of Wilkins decaffeinated coffee. I think that's a pretty good sell. That's a good sell.
I mean, I wouldn't drink it, but it's mostly because I've seen all the other ads.
I would like to see the baby, though. It's a flat baby. He's just rocking like a piece of like cardstock.
Muppets are born flat, and then as they grow up, they become three-dimensional objects.
But then they become flat if they're.
But then also, if you run over by a steamroller, you become flat again.
But you won't necessarily die. I mean, how do you think Flat Stanley became Flat Stanley?
Yeah, steamroller.
Wilkins instant coffee soothes the headaches of life.
I don't have any headaches.
Care for cream and sugar? This volunteer doesn't drink Wilkins instant coffee.
I hope you know what you're doing.
Oh, I do.
So Wilkins has a part-time gig as a magician, I see. And he's not a very good one, because I think he's just gonna saw Wilkins.
He's gonna kill Wilkins. Again. Again.
So we've done a lot of work on the Wilkins side of things, but What about Wilkins? I mean, for all the
What's his deal?
abuse, for all the abuse he's taken, for all the ways he's been
We're here to persuade people to drink more Wilkins
murdered,
coffee.
killed.
What's the club for?
To get their attention.
Like, maybe
You're getting on the
maybe
Wilkins
in a
coffee.
way he's into it. Maybe there's an aspect of Wilkins that we haven't analyzed. Is Wilkins immortal?
Yes. Muppets can't die.
Look at him. He's been
bandwagon?
stabbed.
No!
That's
You either go
you've
with
seen that one
Wilkins or you
before.
just don't go.
Run over
What cup of Wilkins instant
multiple
coffee?
times.
You had enough?
I refuse to answer.
Why?
I'm taking the 5th. Hey, man, what makes you so square?
I don't dig Wilkins coffee.
You should. It really swings.
All right. So Wilkins. So once again, Wilkins appropriating the beatnik culture. Very 50s ad. Almost
He'll
feel
do
like
whatever it takes.
anything to sell, baby. Wilkins coffee.
Anything to kill. It's not about the
Oh,
product.
heck, my flying saucer's out of atomic fuel.
I'm even worse off. I'm out of Wilkins coffee.
Now, what do we
He
think
could
of
get
that?
more.
That's one of the rare ads where he doesn't bring
Kill them.
violence upon
Yeah.
Wilkins.
Well, I mean, he could go get more coffee. That's easy. If he's out of coffee, he can go to the store. That guy is out of atomic fuel. That's a completely different situation.
Oh, it was the 50s. He could just walk out into the desert and grab some in New Mexico. It's
What if they're
just-
not in New Mexico?
Uh,
Got you there.
I'm sure maybe in the 50s, plutonium is available in every corner drugstore, but in 20
You got it.
different, it's like you want to
It's a
do
different time.
you wanted to do a runner, you wanted to do like a little like walk to a reference, and then you trip and you fall and you don't get the reference. And really it's like that's the heart of comedy right there, failing to do it. Really, like, it's, you think about how much you didn't laugh, how much went into making you not laugh, that it's maybe a little bit funny in your head. And I think that's really the entire premise of this this little podcast.
It's not about the jokes you tell. It's about the jokes you don't tell. And that's been our show. Thank you, everyone.
Wilkins coffee's good coffee.
Boy, what a bad commercial.
The commercial may be bad, but the coffee's wonderful.
The commercial is bad.
Yeah, that was Jim Henson completely phoning it in, or at least phoning it in as much as
Jim Henson could do. Yeah.
yeah.
They're running out of ideas.
It would be difficult to phone in a performance when you're ducking down under a table and you have both of your hands up. Like there's a
certain amount of physicality that goes into that.
Baseline level of commitment, and that's pretty high.
It's easy to show up to set and read your lines every day. It's a bit harder to show up to set and read your lines and operate a puppet. And
It's
also
my new
be the
drinking
chief
fountain.
creative
Wilkins
force.
instant coffee here and water here.
I'll take water.
Next.
Well, that's just a nice shower.
Yeah, it just gives him a
Yeah.
shower. And there's nothing to indicate that the water is scalding hot or anything. Oh, look, we've got a little setup for very similar to a Wayne and Wanda sketch. One of them with the boat. You remember that one? It's the
do.
Wayne and Wanda sketch where they start to sing a song and they don't finish it.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this one's for Fago.
Strawberry.
Why?
It's a sinking man's drink.
Wait, I don't think I played it in full.
Thinking, say.
People who don't drink Wilkins coffee. I'm ready.
Let's take a look
Shoot.
at that.
Anybody else?
I'm sinking, save me.
Have some Fago strawberry.
Why?
It's a sinking man's drink.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't. Why did this commercial from the 50s reference a Blueface song, but use the wrong flavor?
I don't get it.
Isn't it blueberry Faygo? Interesting. I think he just let it. He didn't really even care about selling the product in that situation. He just wanted to let him.
He
drown.
just wanted to see him drown.
I like homestyle bread. I don't. I love Dugan homestyle bread. I don't. Just kidding, Mr. Dugan.
See, this is what I'm talking about when I mentioned like mid-century food photography earlier. Like, we're in a strange liminal space. What is this? It looks like a plate with a back on it.
Yeah, it's like a serving dish, kind of.
And the bread is
That's
just
not the thing that you would put a full loaf of bread.
like, look at this. It's barely fitting on it. Like,
Neatly laid out so you know that it's sliced.
It's just like there's some surreal quality about everything just being a little bit too perfect.
That could be a painting of bread and not real bread, and I wouldn't know.
Want some Wilkins coffee with your pie? No, just give me the pie. Sure you wouldn't like a cup of Wilkins to wash it down? Want some Red Diamond coffee with your pie? No, just give me the pie. Sure you wouldn't like a cup of Red Diamond to wash it down?
I see we're in the pie phase of the Wilkins and Wontkins saga.
The canon's kind of overdone.
Community coffee with your pie?
Looks
No,
like
We'll just switch to.
Sure you wouldn't like some community coffee to wash it down?
and now it looks like he's bringing in
Want some
different
Nash's
coffee
coffee
brands.
with your pie? No, just give me the pie. Sure you wouldn't like a cup of Nash's to wash it down?
Nash's, community coffee.
Ashes.
Want some
Here's some
Frank's
Frank's.
orange soda with your pie? No, just give me the pie. Sure you wouldn't like some Frank's to wash it down?
Okay, well, washing down pie with soda, that's questionable.
On a diet, absolutely no calories in Calso water. Just give me the pie. Want a Calso to wash it down?
It's water. There are no calories in water unless it's like a sparkling water type thing. But I don't know if sparkling water was like popular in the 50s.
Flavored water.
Remember Mio?
Uh-huh.
Those Mio pods?
Yeah.
And you'd like squeeze it into your water. What was that all about?
Want some Wilkins coffee with your strawberry shortcake? Can't say that I do. You can't say that you don't either.
Are we still in the pie phase? Let's see what's going on. Looks
Boy,
like we're
this
out of the
hammer-
pie phase. So Wilkins' favorite form of modus operandi seems to be cannonballs and pies in the faces. Very this guy's so crazy. One might consider him a Looney Tune. He's
A little bit of a Joker.
So the Joker, a Looney Tune, is just a regular song.
Reminds me of Wilkins coffee. Why? Because it always hits the spot. Oh!
He didn't even say anything. Just hit the guy.
Anybody who doesn't drink Wilkins coffee ought to be tarred and feathered, right? Wrong! He always was a bad sport.
I think it's time for Wontkins to stand up and fight against Wilkins. Form his own little Boston Wilkins party, maybe, yeah?
This is Wontkins' Sisyphean ordeal. No matter how many times he gets up to try and drink another coffee, he keeps getting pushed down the hill.
It's it's like his own repeating ritual, much like the ritual of drinking coffee every day as soon as you wake up. It's a never-ending cycle. Wilkins will always hurt Wontkins. You'll drink Wilkins coffee.
You can break out of this cycle. Switch to Folgers.
But that's just replacing Wilkins. You're still going to be drinking coffee. It's just
Grow your own coffee beans. Grind your own coffee.
No, but
Build a commune. Build a commune in the middle of nowhere. Live off the land.
We can't.
Don't listen. Don't listen to podcasts.
We can't escape. No, listen to this one, but we can't escape
Listen to this
the
one.
crushing cycle of capitalism. Let's see what-
Everything sucks. Drink Wilkins coffee.
I can get you Wilkins coffee for a price. I wouldn't touch it. There's no future in an attitude like that.
What was the game of that one? Is he sort of like a shady, like, look at my watches type of salesman?
he's a watch salesman type guy.
Yeah, it's like I give that like a 4 out of 10. Not the greatest. You don't see the act of violence. It's all shot in close-ups. I like that. It should be a wide. It should be a wide. You play the action out in a wide, and simpler that way. What's going on, Jim Henson? What's going on? That was sort of like a film noir take, I guess, maybe.
Now we got a little cowboy
Cowboy
game.
The Indians won't bother you. All you got's a shipment of Wilkins coffee. Someday he's gonna learn that everybody drinks Wilkins.
Okay. Now that's an interesting thing here. So the Native Americans are also fans of Wilkins coffee, and Wilkins presumes that they won't enjoy it. Now we've seen problematic depictions of Native Americans in the Jim Neighbors episode of the Muppet Show. So what's the pattern here?
What's going on here?
I think the pattern is just that it was the 50s and the 70s.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it's at times. But it was wrong. It was wrong back then. It's wrong now.
We'll put that little Disney Plus disclaimer at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah. That's what
there
that's
are some
for.
outdated cultural depictions. We won't tell you when or where, but there are some.
What's a young kid like you doing with a bottle of calso water?
I'm on the wagon, Pop.
Fresh kid.
I say, old chap, would you mind going out and buying a box of Wilkins tea? It would help me out financially, and it isn't bad tea at all.
Okay, so now we've seen that the Wilkins Coffee Company
tea?
also makes tea, and he's decided to adopt a British accent to sell this tea. Now you're touching my wrong buttons here. No, sir. None of this British
No
nonsense.
fake British accents.
None of no real British accents. In an
No
idea.
Brits.
No Brits, no bits. That's how our podcast rolls. You want some Yorkshire pie? Sorry.
Nope.
Not on this podcast.
That's why we have Sam the Eagle.
I see, and I were a duck that swam to the bottom and never come up. This is Wilkins Coffee, the finest.
All go soak your head.
In Wilkins Coffee, a pleasure.
Yeah, go soak
I
your
wave
head.
my magic wand. I wave it twice.
I don't drink Wilkins.
I wave it again.
So he's got a magic wand. He's a magical being that will shill for capitalism by any means necessary in order to get what he really wants, and that's to harm
Wilkins is a god of chaos.
Grandma, it's Little Red Riding Hood with your Wilkins coffee.
I'm the bad wolf and I just ate your grandma.
We'll have some Wilkins to wash her down. You'll like this new car.
Yeah?
It's got a built-in maker for Wilkins and...
Why are we climbing this
Wilkins
tree?
only
For Wilkins
cares
coffee.
about one thing, and it is causing chaos to Wilkins. It is his one meaning in life.
That's the Little Red Riding Hood ad is interesting. What's his end game here? Like, okay, so in this reality, Wilkins is the big bad wolf, and Wilkins is Little Red Riding Hood. So clearly Wilkins is trying to get you on his side, and portraying Wilkins as the villain and not the victim here. It's the big bad wolf, but he doesn't really like harm him in that little spot.
Well, we know obviously he was planning to. We just didn't see it.
Sometimes it's implied violence that's the most violent.
Why are we climbing this tree?
Oh, this one's
For
in
Red
color.
Diamond coffee.
I don't want any. Oops.
It's autumn and the nuts are beginning to fall.
So that's the exact same one, but this time for a different brand
And in color.
and in living color. Well, all I have to say is that's not the color that I thought Wilkins would be.
No.
He looks like
He looks like a bean.
Yeah, vaguely phallic.
Yep.
The the color's not really doing Wilkins a lot of favors.
No, but Wilkins isn't doing Wilkins a lot of favors.
I didn't know that Wontkins is red, and it's red diamond
Wilkins
coffee.
makes sense as a red guy.
Let's skip around here. I think we've sort of covered
Don't you?
a lot of
We've covered a lot of the bases,
We've
and I think
covered
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
the
the
psyche
bases.
of the characters.
I'm gonna skip around and see
again?
what's going on over here. Oh, we've got another color one. Let's check that
Wilkins
out.
coffee.
I think he just fired you too.
All right, so now we've seen that. I'm assuming that hand was Mr. Wilkins. We've seen Mr. Wilkins' leg. We've seen his hand. And
Both times
apparently,
causing violence.
when he fires people, he literally sets them on fire.
I don't think that's allowed.
Is Mr. Wilkins what are the corporate practices here? He'll step on you, he'll set you on fire, he'll do all the things you would love a tall woman to do. I mean, just anyway, who is Mr. Wilkins? Would you? I think the better business bureau better make him a better business by getting after him, don't you think?
Maybe Mr. Wilkins has paid them off.
Mr. Wilkins, you bastard.
Old man Donovan just hired me to sell his crummy red diamond coffee. Ooh, wow, wow, wow.
I think he just fired you too.
All right, so now it looks like Wontkins is getting into the advertising game.
He's trying to escape. He's trying to get out.
Maybe that's his way of like seeking retribution against Wilkins. Now that they're like the cycle of violence, he's trying to break the cycle. But instead of finding a better, more positive outlet, it's not about justice, it's about revenge for him. But
I think he deserves that at this point.
But as we've seen, I think Wilkins is like a supernatural being capable of flipping the script on Wontkins. He's like, oh, you think you're able to solve your own problems? That's not true. Not in this reality, baby. I'm Wilkins.
Wilkins is always there.
You think Mr. Wilkins is in charge? No, I'm in charge. I'm the one who's pulling the strings. I think the ultimate puppet here, perhaps the most powerful Muppet of the entire Henson canon, is possibly Wilkins.
Wilkins stands above all.
You don't understand, Alison. Wilkins is the living embodiment of inevitability.
Or maybe he just likes coffee.
I think it's time we initiate Ghost Protocol on Wilkins. It's not mission difficult, Mr. Hunt. It's mission impossible. The greatest line in any Mission Impossible film. All right.
Yeah.
After much research, I have found that the best coffee is...
He was probably going to say Wilkins, but I couldn't take the chance.
Well, that's nice of Wilkins. Now it's like sort of a witty repartee.
Yeah, except now it looks like Wontkins' house is on fire.
Help! Help! Is it Frank's? Thanks!
So that one looks like So that looks like a Frank's ad, which I believe we've established earlier is a water bottle brand.
Of some sort. It's kind of just a waste. But hey, it's nice that he's not killing the guy for once.
Well, he's not. I think that's a Batman Begins situation where he's like, I don't have to kill you, but I don't have to save you either.
I can just spray a little bit of Frank's on you.
He's spraying the Frank's water on him, but he's not putting out the fire.
At least he'll be hydrated when he dies.
See, I think this is based Jim Henson. He's saying that products can't save you from the real problems. They only work as distractions. And he's doing
the only
it,
way we can save each other is with each other.
He's doing it within the context of an advertisement. I think that Jim Henson right here is really putting his finger down. He's being a radical artist right here. This is pop art. This is Warhol. This is transgressive.
This is Henson.
This is art right here. We've been trying to figure it out. We've been trying to figure out what Wilkins and Wontkins are, and I think we found the answer. They're a cry against finding solace in products and consumables that mean nothing. Or maybe they're just funny, like puppets in a
maybe they're
commercial.
just funny puppets.
Yeah,
I
probably.
christened thee.
That bottle of ginger ale, is it Frank's?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Looks like Wontkins has given up. Like he's not even giving up. He's not even putting up a fight.
Well, it's not worth it after all this time. If you just know you're destined to die, no matter what you do, at this frequency,
It's over for you. It's over.
it's over.
There's no reason to continue going on. We're locked in a cycle of Wilkins hurting Wontkins.
Oh, what?
Wilkins Coffee's still the best on earth.
And we'll never be. We'll never find the end of it. It's just an endless glut of selling products and causing harm and funny puppets hitting each other.
Mostly the funny puppets hitting each other.
Yeah. I think that's enough Wilkins and Wontkins talk. I think, if people like this, we can we'll maybe do another one of Jim Henson's commercials. Let's take a look. Let's tease it out with a nice McGarry sausage commercial. One of the earliest appearances of Kermit the Frog.
You eat McGarry's sausages for breakfast?
You should. They start your day with a bang.
Don't be so mean to Kermit.
I do like this little setup. This one was featured on Perfectly Cut Screams, the famous, the infamous Twitter account that posts videos that end in abject terror. But this one's got a Kermit in a rare clothed situation. He's got a suit on. Interesting. Let's
Got
see
a nice
that.
little shirt.
Yeah.
What are you eating? Savory, succulent McGarry sausages. Want a bite? Yeah. Ah, he's a sharp salesman. People who don't eat McGarry sausages just blow up sometimes. Oh, that's a lot of... See what I mean?
I've seen that one before.
That just seems so familiar. I wonder.
I wonder where I've seen that.
Yeah. And look at that. Those disgusting sausages
Little
just packed
sausages.
together. Yeah, that's this has been Talking Coffee. I
think we figured something out.
we really dug deep into the psyche and the symbolism, and we hope you enjoyed it. I think that sometimes overthinking things is a really fun thing to do, especially if the thing that you're overthinking is felt puppets made over half a century ago and broadcasted on tiny little TVs with radio tubes in them.
Watch the Muppet Show on
Yeah.
Disney Plus.
watch the Muppet Show on Disney Plus. We'll have another episode coming out soon with wonderful Sandy Duncan. Well, the episode's about Sandy Duncan, or no,
we have
Florence Henderson, whatever it is.
Yeah. We're happy to say that the order on Disney Plus now matches the order of the show. You can just watch them down.
And with that, this has been Wilkins Coffee Talk. I think that's a pretty good title for this little special bonus episode. But yeah, this is the first one ever that we've made. And with that, I have to say one thing. Alison, you want some Wilkins coffee?
I'm good.
Anyways, if you would like to be the new co-host of It's Time to Talk the Muppets, please send your email to talkthemuppets@gmail.com and send any other comments to talkthemuppets@gmail.com. Oh yeah, we have an email now. Please reach out to us through there. Please rate it and review us on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts. Do all those things that podcasts tell you to do. And with that, the Time to Talk the Muppets has time out. Over time. Time is done.
It's over. Show's over.
Yeah.
We got to come up with a catchphrase.
All right. Bye-bye.